What's up? Welcome back to another episode of Jazzy Time with your host, Bailey. Good morning. It is morning. It's like 8:30-ish, something. I don't know. I can't see the clock. It's over there. How's everybody doing this morning? I am absolutely wonderful after I kind of got a little bit of a high this morning. That high, I would like to thank my mother for, because if it wasn't for my mother, I probably would not have the backbone that I have today. I've realized that now at my age, I learned, respect your elders and manners and all that, when I was younger, because I grew up in the 90s. Nowadays, there's not so much manners and respect. But you learn this, after you age, you learn when you properly can say something when it's needed, versus, waiting for a pause, blah, blah, blah. So backbone. Yes, backbone. Thank you, Mom. Thank you for my backbone. I got such a great little... And it wasn't to be heroic or, it could have been, I don't know. But it did, to me, it wasn't like that. It was kind of like, that's wrong. I have to say something. So first of all, I want to say, in Canada, I'm not aware of what goes on in the States, because I don't go to the States a lot. I don't know if you guys have the same thing that we have here. You might. And if you do, that's good. I hope more people would say something. But handicap permits for elderly and disabled people. I know that because my mother has one, and also my stepfather. Not my stepfather, my dad. I keep calling him stepdad. He's my dad. And you have to go through a ton of paperwork, and you have to pretty much prove that you're handicapped and you need this permit because you can't walk from the end of the parking lot to the store, let alone through the store without gasping for air, blah blah blah. Anywho's, this morning, so I dropped Crash off to work because sometimes he doesn't get lunch and I have to work in the evening. We only have the one vehicle, so flippity floppity, right? So sometimes I'll send him with breakfast. Sometimes I will go buy breakfast. Today I went and bought breakfast, so I dropped him off. He was on time. Went to go to Tim Hortons to get his coffee and his little sandwich that he gets, and get myself my little croissant here. And so I can eat it with my peaches. Sorry. And so I drew a little thingy so you guys can kind of see. So here's the road. So you come off the road, and literally the cop station is right across from Tim Hortons. Literally. Okay? So you come off the road here and you come into Tim Hortons, and this is kind of how their parking lot's laid out. Way over here where I haven't drawn, I hope you guys can hear me through the paper, there's transport truck parking. There's a ton of parking in this Tim Hortons parking lot. This little area is for I have a van, for smaller vehicles. So we come in, and I come in off the road, and I go into their drive-thru. Their drive-thru's closed this morning. And I think it was an omen, you know what I mean? So I pull in up to the drive-thru, around, and I park over here. So here's me. It's going to be upside down. It's going to say arrow to you guys. So this is me. And I get out of my car and I start walking because the front door is right up here. And I start walking and I cut across this little handicap spot here. And then this man with this huge truck, big tank in the back for gas, and he pulls right into this second handicap stall. Okay? And I stood there, and I literally was I looked in his rear view, because our handicap permits here, they kind of hang on your rear view, like a door knocker sort of thing. And he gets out and he's got this tired face and he puts smoke in his mouth and he starts to light it. And I'm like, you can't park there. It's like my whole body just went, that's wrong. I got to say something. I really do. Because there are people that have permits that really need that spot. Right? So I get you're tired, dude. I get, you probably worked long hours in the oil field the night before. He gets out, and I'm pretty sure he ignored me the first time. But I'm like, you can't park there. So I continued a little bit to the door, and I turned around, and I said, did you hear me, sir? He goes, what? I said, you can't park there. He goes, the parking lot's full. That doesn't matter. You're not handicapped. You can't park there. And at this point in time, there were like 3 or 4 people had already walked in the door past listening to this little conversation. And like, it doesn't matter if he's a big dude. It doesn't matter if he's a little dude. He was not handicapped. He had no right to park there just because he wanted a coffee in the morning and, had to actually get out of his vehicle and didn't want to walk very far. What if somebody pulled into the parking lot and needed that spot? Like me, I'm just about 6 months pregnant, and I get the exact same aggravation when people, like this gentleman, I don't really know if I can call him a gentleman, but he did get back in his vehicle, and he continued elsewhere to go get his morning breakfast coffee, whatever. Like, you could have parked on the road. You could have parked in the transport truck parking. You know what I mean? Like, had somebody in a wheelchair really needed that spot, they couldn't use it. Why? Because you decided to be an ass, pardon my French, and park in that spot. And I said to his face, you are not handicapped. You cannot park there. Plain and simple. It's just like the subject I just said, like the expected mother spots. Now that I'm an expected mother, yeah, it gets harder to walk farther distances. I get breathless really, really easily because of the extra that I'm carrying. And if I gotta park 5 stalls that way because your laziness, you want to, park in the expected mother parking, but you're a dude in a big truck and have to run in. Is that fair to me? Is that fair to other pregnant women or women with small children in car seats? It's the same thing with the handicap spot. Is it fair to the people that actually need that spot? So that leads me to, I go into the store. He's gone now. He has left. And there was a girl in there just like around my age. Like I stand in line and I'm waiting. And they're literally like, did you say something to that guy? Like, yeah, I did. I said something. And, sorry, I got the bubbles. And she goes, good for you. Not a lot of people would say anything. And that's when it hit me. How come people don't stand up? Like, say something. It might not be for someone right at that moment. Stand up for the little guy. I'm used to being bullied. Stand up for something. Even if it's something small, like a handicap spot. Like, and she even said to me, I've got a cousin in a wheelchair. I'm like, yeah, I've got a mother and a father that both have handicap permits because they're elderly. One's diabetic. My mom's got the bad back. Her discs from her neck to the middle of her back are all fused together. She can't walk very far. She's had a stroke, come on. And then, so that kind of leads me to, is how come? I don't understand. More people need to get a backbone. And they need to say something. Because all those people in that store probably would have just let him sit in that spot, stand in line, get his coffee, go out and leave. When in that time he stood for a coffee, maybe 1 or 2 people probably needed that spot. You know what I mean? Like, And that's the thing. It's even like watching people be racist in front of one another. Handicap spots, expected mother spots, like people like bystanders. They just watch, and it's like, get out of here, cat. And it's just like more people need to stand up and be more confident, because if you don't, our world's just gonna go. You know what I mean? Like rules get put in place for a reason, to keep order. If we didn't have rules and order, we would probably go into chaos. But that was my high this morning, is like, it felt good to actually, say something. And at my age, I can't afford not to say anything, because like, I'm 26. I feel like my life is starting to, after 25, you just feel like your life's a quarter over. What'd you do with it? You stand up and say something. If whenever you see something wrong, say something. Doesn't matter if there's a conflict afterwards. Like I say, it doesn't matter if that person is bigger than you or smaller than you. I mean, yes, the guy was older than me, probably by a good 20 years. Could have ended worse. He could have started, ranting with me, but then again, I could have just got his license plate and walked across the street and given it to them and been like, hey, look. And then he would have got a ticket anyway. But to avoid all that, stuff, how's that saying go? The violence will stop if someone is watching. And the wrong will stop when at least one person says something. So I hope that if ever someone sees something wrong, even if it's the littlest, I hope that if you guys ever see anything wrong, you say something. Because that little ripple in the tide pool makes other people do the same. So yeah, that was my little rant for this morning. I'm going to finish my pear and my croissant. But yeah, so I just wanted to thank my mom for giving me a backbone. Thanks, Mom. Love you. Anywho's, click, comment, like, subscribe, and share with the universe. Keep coming back into family. You know I love you. Follow me on Instagram, BC_Jazzy_time. And please, if you want to, follow my Facebook fan page. If not, I will not be upset. Facebook.com/GetMyJazzyTime on. Anywho's, I'm going to go eat my breakfast. I hope you all have a good day, good afternoon, stay tuned, and stay jazzy.